And so it was just like serendipitous. That's a fun word. Hey everyone, welcome back to Popsicle-Frog Knits. My name is Brooke. I'm the maker behind Popsicle-Frog, and today we have podcast episode number 7. Woo! I'm super excited to be sharing everything that I made and worked on in April, even though we're halfway through May. I meant to film this 2 weeks ago, and the 2 days I had off from work, the weather was horrific, and I use just natural light from my windows to film, and so there was no natural light, so I could not film. And then last week I ended up picking up a bunch of shifts at work, so just haven't had time until today. So I'm super excited to jump into everything, and yeah, we're just gonna hop right in. And if you want to grab a beverage, grab some knitting. I am having my second cup of coffee in this really fun, I don't know if you can see the little strawberry. It has little strawberries all around it. I have 2 that have flowers on them that are the same, and I just love them. They're great. So if you see me looking down here, I have my computer with all of my notes, because trying to keep everything in my brain and just speaking from there makes it so chaotic and convoluted, and it just is a not great time. So I have my notes. So we're gonna start with what I'm wearing, and we're gonna follow a traditional podcast format: what I'm wearing, finished objects, whips, acquisitions if you want to stay for that, and I may have a new craft to share with you, and by I do. I have started spinning like so many others, and so I'll talk a little bit about that and the beginning of my spinning journey. So if that's something you're interested in, I'll have timestamps below, like I always do. Everything I talk about will be in the description. My measurements will be in the description. I'll talk about that a little bit when I'm talking about garments, but if you're interested, they're always at the bottom. So if you want to look, you can. If you don't want to look, you don't have to. So yeah, let's talk about what I'm wearing. It's this beautiful top. I'm gonna try to include some more like B-roll footage of it so you can see it up close a little bit more. But this is the 7 p.m. tank by Tiffany Ty. I am obsessed with this top. I have wanted to make it for a really long time, and I just for some reason hadn't. I didn't do a lot of summer knitting last year, and by I didn't do a lot, I think I did a ripple bralette, and I think that may have been my only summer knitting project. I was knitting sweaters throughout the summer of last year, which I'll probably end up knitting sweaters this summer too, but I want more summer garments. I want more garments in my summer wardrobe, which is kind of what I talked about in my last video, which was me planning for spring knitting, even though it's almost summer. The patterns will carry over, but this is the 7 p.m. tank. So the yarn, or let's talk about the pattern first, then I'll talk about the yarn. So this, I knit a size 3, which is meant to fit a 36 to 38 inch bust. And it's meant to fit with 0 inches or 0 centimeters with positive ease. So my bust right now is about 35 and a half. So I went up to the size closest, which was size 3. And lost my train of thought. So I did the size 3, and it was actually too big. You can't really tell now because I took a crochet hook. I think I used like a 2mm crochet hook. It was so small, and elastic thread that you would put like on a bobbin for sewing, and I crocheted along the entire front and back of the top to make it fit and sit at my chest. It was like really gapey before and just didn't fit me very well, and so I was able to figure out a way to make it fit, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. So I'm kind of planning to make another one, and I'll talk about that later. So I'll talk about what I'm going to change to do that. But I also, when I made it, I misread. I read the instructions for size 4 for some of the parts, and so I had to rip out and redo and blah, blah, blah. But it's a really cool construction. So the bottom part is made up of 4 panels. So you have the front panel, and here, let me see. You have a side panel, and then you have a back ribbed panel. And you seam all 4 of those together to make the body of the top. And then you pick up the stitches for the bust part of the tank. And at the bottom there is a double knit band to help it sit flat. And it's just a really, really interesting, fun pattern to knit. Like, there's a lot of stockinette, like just knitting flat back and forth for a while, so it's really good like mindless knitting, which I really enjoyed as I'm watching TV and watching the ridiculous amount of hockey that I watch. I'm really into hockey. It's like bordering on a problem of how much I love hockey. And the garment is made for a bust circumference of 28 inches up to 62 inches. And so it's size inclusive, which is great. All of the patterns I'm going to be talking about are size inclusive. It's a big thing for me. So, yeah, that is this top. Let's talk about the yarn. The yarn is by Mezzo Makes, which is Kate Garden. She is a wonderful indie dyer. And I use the Soprano sock base in the color The Teapot, which is, I talked about in the last episode, is based on the teapot that Jim gives Pam in The Office, and it's very close to this color. And this is actually the first hand-dyed yarn I ever bought. I bought it really early on in my knitting journey, and I wanted to use it for something really special, so it's been sitting in my stash for like 2 years now. And I finally was like, I'm going to use it for the 7 p.m. tank, because for me, for size 3, it only uses 1 skein of yarn. So I have 1 skein of this. I used almost all of it. I think I have like tiny little balls of it left. Like, I thought I was going to have to undo my swatch to finish it, but I thankfully did not have to do that. And so it was a great way for me to use a special skein of yarn. And I absolutely love this color. I feel like it's very springy and it'll be really fun going into the summer. And that, yeah, that's everything I have about the 7 p.m. tank. I absolutely love it. It's so pretty. I just think it's such a unique knit. Like, when I started knitting, I never thought I would knit something that looked like this polished and interesting. Not that I didn't think I could knit interesting things. I think alt knitting is interesting, but just something that feels so different from a lot of other, my computer's falling asleep, from other knits. Also, sorry if the lighting's going weird. The clouds keep rolling and sometimes the sun is coming through, and sometimes it's a little bit more cloudy, so I think it'll be a little bit inconsistent. See, it just brightened up. So, sorry. I wish I could control the sun, but unfortunately I can't. Okay, so my first finished object other than my 7 p.m. tank is this beautiful top. It is the Tied and True top by Tamara Jordan of Starcross Knits on Instagram. And it's just this gorgeous tank. And let's talk about it. So I knit a size 2, which was for a 32 to 34 inch bust, and it's meant to fit with -1.5 to +1.5 inches of ease, and I wanted more negative ease. So I went, instead of jumping up a size like I did for the 7 p.m. tank, I went down a size. So I knit the size 2. I also was really worried about the amount of yarn I had, and So, and I thought I was going to play Yarn Chicken. I was so close to ordering another skein of this yarn and accepting that it was going to be a different dye lot and it was going to look a little bit off, but I stuck with it, and I was like, if I have to order another one, I'll order it and put it down and just wait. I don't need to order it before I finish, and I'm really glad I didn't, because then I just have one random skein of this yarn left. So, knit a size 2. And this is made to fit a bust circumference of 28 to 62 inches. And it is just beautiful. I, again, like the 7 p.m. tank. It's something I've wanted to knit since I first saw it on Instagram. And when I was going through my stash recently, I realized that I had 100% cotton yarn that was the right size to make this top. And so it was just like serendipitous. That's a fun word. So I used I just weighed it. I used 233 grams of Universal Yarn Cotton Supreme in the color 503 Ecru. So it's this beautiful off-white color. And it looks so pretty. Like, I don't know why I'm showing you the fabric, but I'm just really proud of how my tension is when I knit back and forth now. It used to be a little bit wonky, and I'm just really proud of it. So it was super fun to make. It was a really, really interesting construction because you have to create these, I can't think of a word other than like slots for the I-cord ties to go through. So it was super interesting to make, and I'd never done something with a ruffle, so doing the ruffle was really fun. And honestly, I love an I-cord bind off. I don't mind doing I-cord, and if you hate I-cord, this might not be the top for you. Unless you get a cordsmith, which are so cool. I really, really want one. It's the person behind Size Inclusive Collective on Instagram who has created these, and they just make 3-stitch I-cord. And like yesterday or today, she announced that they're going to be making a mini one as well. So you'll have like the normal sized one and a mini one, and that would be perfect for this top, because I had to knit 50 inches of I-cord multiple times. So it was a lot of I-cord knitting. If you hate I-cord, get a cordsmith if you're gonna make this top. I'm not sponsored. I just think they're really cool and I really want to buy one. I just haven't yet. So yeah, that's the Tide and True tank. I am so excited. I haven't worn it yet because it's not really work appropriate, because I think you can, I probably inserted some footage. It's a little bit more scandalous than my other knits, but I think it's gonna be great for the summer. I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. Yeah. Oh, and something I wanted to mention about the 7 p.m. tank is that someone had messaged me on Instagram and asked if it was bra friendly with like a strapless bra. And unfortunately, I don't own a strapless bra at the moment, so I can't tell you with 100% certainty, but I think it would work. Because you can always, with the straps, you can always knit them shorter and pull it up a little bit so it doesn't sit as low as mine does. And it'll like I could pull it up about this much and it still sit where it should be sitting with this line around my underbust. So that was is it an addendum? It was an add-on. We're just gonna move on to my last finished object, which I have to grab. I forgot to get them. I am back. So my last finished object is a pair of socks. I've been a sock knitting machine. I'm currently on my 7th pair of socks for the year, and it is May. It's a lot of socks. but I'm having a grand old time knitting socks, and I'll be knitting more because I have some awesome sock yarn that I'm going to talk about. So I knit these beautiful, let's hide my face, beautiful vanilla socks. I currently only knit vanilla socks. I follow the pattern that I have been using for over a year now, that I just kind of made up using different tutorials. It's a 56 inch, that's, it's like a giant's foot. I knit a 56 stitch sock. I do 2x2 ribbing for the cuff because I prefer that to 1x1 ribbing, and like a lot of times in garments I'll switch out 1x1 ribbing to 2x2 ribbing just because I think 2x2 ribbing looks just incredible. So I do 2x2 ribbing. I do 15 rounds of the ribbing. I do 40 rounds for the leg. I do a slip stitch heel. Now I know how to do it without looking, but let me look up the name of the tutorial that I follow. I use the beginner sock knitting instructions by Winwick Mum, and they're great. It tells you, depending on how many stitches your leg is, how to do a slip stitch heel, like how many rows to do, how to do the turn, and how to do gusset, and how to do toes as well. So I started using that, and now that's just the recipe that I follow. So it's just a vanilla sock. So the fun thing about vanilla socks is the yarn. The sock itself, and talking about it, is kind of boring because it's just basic, but the yarn is the interesting part. And so this is Explorer Knits and Fibers Denali sock, and it is in the colorway Fake Beach Read. So Beach Read, if you don't know, is a book by Emily Henry. It's my favorite of her books. I love it so much. It's a contemporary romance. They're really funny. I really, really love Emily Henry, like a lot of people do. And so last year, Kate of Red Door Fiber Studios did a mini collection for Emily Henry, and she collaborated with Explorer Knits and Allie of Explorer Knits and Fibers, and Allie did the Beach Read colorway. And I didn't get the yarn. I hadn't read the books yet, and so I just wasn't gonna spend the money on something I didn't really know. The color was really pretty, but I didn't need it. And so when Explorer Knits and Fibers did an in-stock update a couple months ago, they had Fake Beach Read. So this is, I can't remember if this was either like an oopsie or if this was from their development, the skeins they used in the development of the colorway. So it is different from Beach Read, but it's still quite similar. So they're my Fake Beach Read socks, which I think is really fun. So very happy with these. I haven't worn them yet. I try not to wear socks until I show them on the podcast because my knit socks just end up looking so big, and I'm like, I just want them to look nice for the videos. So I can wear these now. Yay! They're really fun for the summer. Even though, why am I wearing wool socks in the summer? Who knows? There's one pair of socks that I wear every time my hockey team plays because they're the colors of my hockey team. Go Avs. So I wear those whenever they're playing. They're my good luck socks, even though they're not really bringing us luck right now. I'm not talking about hockey anymore, I promise. Okay, now we're gonna move on to works in progress. WIP-wise, these are things I have been working on in the past 2 weeks, as well as in April. So everything was cast on. Everything was cast on in April. Yeah. So these are my April cast-ons that I'm currently working on. So we're gonna start with a top I'm almost done with now, and that is let's grab it, the Moonless Tank by Jacqueline Cieslak. It looks very short right now because, I mean, it's very, very cropped, but it looks especially cropped because it has not been blocked, and so the stockinette has rolled all the way up. So I just got to the point where I had seamed the shoulders together. So let's talk about the pattern. So this is a bottom up construction, and it's knit in 2 panels. I am doing the 1 color version, so I modified it. So I knit the whole bottom stockinette part in the round instead of doing back and forth and doing panels and seaming the panels together down the side, because it's 1 color. I like knitting. I don't want to purl back and forth more than I have to. So I modified it to be in the round. I split at the underarm and then did one and did the other, seamed them. So I seamed them yesterday. So now all I have left is to do the I-cord around the edges, and I am actually going to do a modification. I'm not going to do the neck like it calls for in the pattern. It's like a folded over stockinette, almost mock neck, and I'm either going to leave it like it is, I haven't decided, or do an I-cord around the edge of it. Just because I don't want the neckline that's in the pattern. So I am making a size 2, which is meant to fit a 34 to 36 inch bust. So I'm right in the middle of that one. So size 2. And this has a finished bust circumference of 36 to 68 inches with 4 to 6 inches of positive ease. So I'm like smack dab in the middle of size 2. And I'm going to have about, I'm not sure, I think I'm going to have 4.5 inches of positive ease, if I remember correctly, once it's all blocked and everything. And those are my mods. That's the pattern. Let's talk about the yarn. So this yarn is Walcott Yarns Opus in the color Summer Storm. It's this beautiful purple. And I actually was given this yarn through the Scrappy Advent hosted by Rebecca of the Crayabea last December. I was sent 2 skeins of this sport weight yarn from my partner, who is all the way in Switzerland. So it's super cool getting to use this yarn. And it's a sport weight yarn. I think it's like 383 yards per 100 grams. So it's really a heavy fingering to sport weight. And I have used 105 grams to do the entire body. And that's important for a later conversation that we'll have when I get to acquisitions. So I had 2 skeins of this yarn, so I have plenty to finish it all off. And I'm really excited to have a looser fitting tank for the summer that I can like wear a sports bra under, because it does sit pretty low on the sides. Yeah, that's whip number 1. The second whip is socks. So I'm not going to go over the vanilla sock pattern again. I'm just going to talk about the yarn. And it is, yes, it's this beautiful, let's see if it's focusing on it. It is this beautiful green, almost like tan, cream colored yarn. Here, let me just show you the cake. Hopefully you can see the colors pretty well. And then this is the contrast color. And this is the April colorway of Paisley Knits Book Club Sock Club. I think I probably said that wrong, but you get the point. So I am in the monthly sock club that Coley of Paisley Knits is doing this year. So this is the April colorway. Normal People by Sally Rooney, I believe, is the author. I've watched the TV show. I haven't read the book. The TV show is brilliant. Highly recommend. I need to read the book. I think I have it as a hold on Libby for my Kindle, so I think it was like a couple months wait, so we'll see when I get to read it. But this is in the colorway God Made Me For You and You Know I Love You. And these colors are beautiful. Coley has like not missed with any of the sock yarns that she sent. Like the A Quarter Mist and Fury, incredible. I wear them all the time. Percy Jackson, I wear less, but I love them. The March was Red, White, and Royal Blue, and those are the socks I talked about that I wear for hockey. I said I wasn't going to talk about it anymore. Okay, that's it. But they're beautiful maroon and a burgundy and blue. And I'm so excited for the next couple of months. Okay, it cut me off. So I was saying I'm so excited for the next couple of months of the book club colorways because Coley has released the mood boards for them, and I'm just so excited. So very excited. So those are all my whips. Now, I have quite a few acquisitions this month because in the past couple months I have pre-ordered quite a bit of yarn, and it all happened to arrive in the past 6 weeks. So we're going to talk about it all, and we're going to start with the yarn I think I'm most excited about. I'm excited about everything, but I think I'm most excited about this. And this is going to be a Explorer Knits and Fibers heavy episode. So this color, let's see, I'm trying to hide. Ooh. This color, it is this like dark teal, dark blue, greeny gold, beautiful colorway, and it is called You Do Not Yield. So this is the color that Allie dyed in collaboration with Witchfire Fiber, her Sarah J. Maas Made Me Cry collection. And so this color is from a quote in the last book, Kingdom of Ash. And I actually have a tattoo that says You Do Not Yield. So I'm obsessed with the Throne of Glass series, and the You Do Not Yield was something that was really impactful in my life when I read them. So obviously when there's a yarn inspired by and named after a tattoo that I have to get it. I have to. It's not a question. So it is this beautiful color, and I don't normally gravitate towards this color, but you'll see these colors kind of make another appearance. And I am going to knit another 7 p.m. tank with it. I just think it'll be so fun in this beautiful yarn, and I'm probably going to start that as soon as I finish my Moonless Tank. It's just stunning. It's on the Denali sock base, so it's 400 yards per 100 grams. It's a 80-20, so 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. And I cannot wait. I'm so excited. So that's You Do Not Yield. Okay, next acquisition, also very excited. And it is Evermore from Tiny Human Knits. So it's from Laura, who I'm obsessed with. I am a Tiny Human Knit stan, and I will be forever. I love Laura. Her colorways are just immaculate, and she makes self-striping yarn. And I have, let's see, They're Taking the Hobbits to Isengard, I think is the name of the one I have. And then I have 1989 Taylor's version. I have Folklore. I think those are the three I have, and then I have 2 yarns in stash, including this one. And I can't wait to use this. These colors are just gorgeous. Like, look at this green and the burnt orange, and just so excited. So this is based on Evermore, the album by Taylor Swift, and I just am so excited to make socks with these. It's so pretty. They're gonna be gorgeous. This is a 50-gram skein of the self-striping and a 20-gram mini skein. So I can get a pair of socks for me with 50 grams of yarn and have just a wee tiny bit left over. And hopefully I'll be able to get them to be matching. So far I've been able to get the socks to match, which like is not super important, but it makes me really happy if I get to do that. So we'll see if these ones are twins or just sisters. So that's that acquisition. Okay, there's been a lot of noise going on, so I stopped and am restarting. So the next two acquisitions, this is an acquisition heavy section. I don't normally have this many acquisitions, but again, like I said, a bunch of pre-orders came in. So I got two 50-gram skeins of Denali sock yarn from the Explore Knits and Fibers monochrome collection. So let's see if I can show you them next to each other. Oh my gosh, I am struggling today with getting things in frame. So they are like a pair that go together, and this one is called, this one is called To the Stars Who Listen, which is from ACOTAR, A Court of Thorns and Roses. And the other one is called Tide. So it is this. And I am hoping to make another Moonless Tank with these two yarns. So like I said, the Moonless Tank I'm working on, the way that it is, has used 105 grams. So what I'm thinking is that I make a size 1, so it has less positive ease, so it'll be tighter, with these two colors. Because the Moonless Tank is also written for 2 colors, which is why it's knit in panels. So you seam the 2 colors together. So that's what I'm hoping to do. I'm not gonna gauge swatch for it. Because the yardage of the wall cut Opus is so close to the yardage of the Denali sock, I'm just gonna start knitting and that'll be my gauge swatch. If I have to rip it out, I have to rip it out and find another project for these two. But I think it would be such a fun Moonless Tank. So those are my last yarn acquisitions. All right, so I have one more acquisition, but it is fiber. So I'm gonna head into the spinning portion of this episode. So if you are not interested in that, thank you so much for watching. If you're still here, I really appreciate it. And if you're not subscribed and you wanna see what else I'm up to, you can subscribe. That would be great, it really helps me. And you can also follow me on Instagram at popsicle_frog. Thanks for making it this far, and let me know what you're knitting. Yeah, let's jump into fiber and spinning. So the last acquisition I have is this beautiful fiber. It is the most perfect green. And so this is 100% fine Peruvian wool I'm just so excited. So it is, I don't know if I showed the right side. It is from Golden Hour Knitwear. So Camry, and I am just so excited. So Camry was actually my sock swap partner for the La Mercerie sock swap that happened last December. So I love her yarn. It's beautiful. She sent me some of her hand-dyed yarn for the sock swap, and I haven't made socks with it yet, but I'm so excited to. It is the most beautiful, moody colors. And so she had a Princess Diaries collection. Like, oh my gosh, what a brilliant idea for a collection. It's just, mwah, I love it. I love Princess Diaries. It's one of the movies I used to watch all the time when I was little. And I remember when the second one came out, my dad took me to the theater to see it, and we had like a little daddy-daughter date and had lunch and went and saw Princess Diaries too. And so I have a lot of really good memories associated with Princess Diaries. And so I had to get something, and I saw that she was releasing fiber, and I really knew I wanted to get more into spinning. I started spinning with a drop spindle. Last October, I took a spinning class, and I knew I wanted to get more into it, but I really wanted to use a wheel and not a drop spindle. So I guess technically I have one more acquisition. I bought an electric spinning wheel. I bought the electric eel wheel 6.1 from Dreaming Robots, because they came in stock and they were having a sale. And so I decided that I was gonna invest in one because I really have wanted to start spinning, and I cannot wait to spin this up. So I don't know if I said the color right. This is called the Official Best Friend of Princess Mia. It's based off of Lily, and I can't wait to spin it. And I'm so excited because I have fiber that I bought at the Dallas-Fort Worth Fiber Festival last year from Apothecary Fabrications. And it is this beautiful, it's, I can't remember the name of the color. It'll be in the description, but it is beautiful. And the green, let's see, goes so well with this green. And I saw this green and I was like, that'll go perfectly. And so originally my plan was to ply them together, but I'm thinking maybe I ply each one with itself and then do like a 2-color project and use both of these. I'm not sure which one I want to do. If you guys have suggestions or like think one is better than the other, please let me know. This is going to be my first like big spinning project, and I'm so excited. So I have been practicing. I had some wool left over from my spinning class that I took because it included wool. So let me grab that skein. This was my first practice on my electric spinning wheel. So it is this orangey red wool. I have no idea what kind of wool, but it's very rustic. It is not soft at all. It's scratchy. I'm not using it for anything. I'm going to save this little guy. And he doesn't look terrific in his skein form. Like, he doesn't look like a normal skein, and I'm not sure why. But he's my little baby, and I love him. And it was a struggle. I was having trouble with my with getting overspinning the yarn. I was having trouble with I can't remember what it's called, but the tension on the wheel, and the cotton snapped. And I was like, oh my gosh, I broke it. But this was a great practice, and I'm really getting a feel for it. I've already washed this, so it's all nice and done, and it'll stay in its little skein form, and I'll keep it for posterity. Oh, I have another practice one I did. So when I bought my drop spindle, it came with a couple different fibers, and so I had a merino in like 1 ounce of fiber, and it made this little guy. I'm really struggling with positioning things today. So it made this little guy. And I also have over twisted in here, over twisted, I guess. I don't know all the terms. I'm still very new to this, but it made this cute little skein. This one I'm also not going to use for anything. He's going to be just a little guy that I have. I have a small nitty knotty, and so that's why he's so tiny. I used my Yarn Swift to make this guy bigger. So yeah. So the spinning project I am about to start uses this fiber, which I got from a shop in Melbourne. Okay, wait, I just got a notification that they're making a new Office series. I'm not sure how I feel about that. So off topic, but I don't like that. Okay, so this fiber is from Wonderflex Yarn Craft Center, and so I went to Melbourne in February. I used to live there when I was in high school, and so I went to visit my best friends, and we went to a cafe that was right by my old house. Up the street, like 6 doors from where we were, was a yarn shop. And so I was early for meeting up with one of my best friends, and so I wandered into this shop and got some yarn, but I also got this fiber. And I was unsure until today what it was. It did not have a tag that had any information on it, and other than the name, which is grape jelly. And so I looked it up on their website. I found the name of the store, looked it up, and it is Corriedale. I'm so excited. I have spun on my drop spindle with Corriedale, and I loved it. That was my favorite to spin with. So I'm so excited. That's what also the Apothecary Fabrications one is. It's Corriedale. Or Corriedale. I think I'm... whatever. And this is the project I'm going to work on now. So this is going to be my first non-practice spin. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. It's going to depend on how it turns out, but I've been watching a bunch of videos and I decided to make a sample. So let's grab the sample. I made this little guy yesterday. I don't know. I think if I hold him back here, you can probably see him better. He is this beautiful little purple guy, and I'm so happy with how he turned out. I keep referring to all my skeins as he. I'm not sure why, but they just feel like little guys. And so this was like 10 ounces and 10 grams, not ounces, 10 ounces of fiber that I spun up and plied yesterday. I have not washed it yet, but this is going to be my little sample that I have when I'm spinning the rest of it to try to get my, I think like the ply in here looks really good. One of the singles is a little bit thicker than the other one, so I'm trying to get more consistent with my drafting, and I'm just so excited. It's a beautiful color. I don't know what I'm going to do with it when it's done, but I'm just so excited to get spinning. I'm really excited to get into this craft. I think it's wonderful. I love watching people do it, and I think it makes the most beautiful yarns, and there's just something so special about being able to knit with a yarn that you made. I can't wait. So I think that's everything. If you stuck around for the spinning, thank you. I hope you enjoyed my little ramblings that are not necessarily super professional or make a lot of sense, because again, I'm still new. But if you have any advice that you want to share about spinning, I would love to hear it. I'm really trying to learn as much as I can. I need to get the book, I think it's called Respect the Spindle. Someone has told me about that. I need to get that and read through it. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.